Good evening!
And welcome everyone once again to the As Vice podcast. We are joined as usual with the Smiz. Agent Smiz, how are you doing today, buddy?
Straight in. Really?
I went straight in.
So he does it.
Straight in.
No
Straight in.
nonsense. Straight in.
I'm a no-nonsense kind of individual. You should all know this.
Yeah, no. If there's one thing I know about you over the years, it's like that. He's no nonsense.
No nonsense.
No nonsense. No, I'm doing good. Thank you very much.
Good. Vice, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. How are you doing, Azrael lads?
Azrael, lads, you had to push it in, didn't you?
I have to.
You didn't just let it go.
If there's one thing you know about me is I love to push it in.
No comment there, mate. No comment needed. We are good.
Whereas I pay £20 to plug it.
£20.
Very true.
You got any money for me this week?
No, I actually don't.
Okay, well, that's fine. We can let him off for that. But yes, today, guys, we're going to be doing a very special podcast. As always, I should say. Because today, we are talking about the formation of the Fallen Games. We are taking you straight back to the beginning, where we were just two lonely streamers. Dark, cold nights.
This just seem like it's like the start of a weird stage show.
Yeah. But now
gosh.
look at us. There's three of us. Three.
There
Can you
is.
believe it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to be taking it right from the start, all the way from our first journey, all the way to where we are now, and how we're doing, and how obviously AAW is doing,
Mm.
and how we think we're doing.
Mm.
You have to grade yourself.
We've all done the essays. We're all getting performance reviews at the end of today. So
It's very true.
Yeah.
The big boss is on our back.
exactly. So yeah,
Mm.
that's what we're doing today, guys. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready? You
Yeah.
you excited?
Always.
Always. Smith
You know, when it's content for the people, I'm always excited.
Smith isn't speaking much.
Oh, it's mostly your two history. I join at a certain point, but there's so much, and I'm looking to learn
Ooh,
because I know the surface level stuff, but there's
He's a
probably
learner.
more behind the scenes.
he's a learner.
Like
Yeah.
watching a film and you're like, oh, I wonder what the DVD extras are. Oh, look at all
The
that.
extras.
This is the DVD extras.
Look
of
at all
our-
this
of our-
behind the scenes
Yeah,
stuff.
of our,
This is,
like,
this
Twitch
is
live
the
stream.
fellowship of the streams.
Wow, this is.
Oh my god, that's the name right there. The fellowship
Yes.
of the stream.
We've sold it already.
It's like,
Love
oh, that's how they did that. That's how they made that work
That's
in
how
the
it
early
works,
days.
yeah.
Oh, I
That's how
didn't
they
know
did it.
that.
I
Didn't
love
know
it.
That's how it
that.
works.
I absolutely love it. Okay, I mean, yeah, we guess we can start of talk about when we've decided to kind of start streaming. I think it was something that we wanted to do for a while. I know that obviously when we used to meet up and play games and stuff together, like when we actually did the first origins of AAW, Action All Star Wrestling, if you didn't know, I think we live streamed one of them, but we didn't have a camera or anything, or it was
We
just
toyed with the idea.
Yeah.
We toyed with the idea, but we never had the full capabilities.
because we had it on YouTube, didn't we? We we did little bits, but it was more for us rather than actually for like an external audience, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
It was
Yeah.
almost like we were teasing with the idea and getting used to, hey, what if we did it?
Mm.
It's not that much of a step to jump up, but we never just actually made that step.
And then it took us 6 years to just finally do
Well, I
something.
think now, this is going to make me sound old, but I think at that point it wasn't as easy to do.
No, and I don't think there
It
was.
was still
Yeah.
And there wasn't really a
still in
massive
its infancy.
market.
There
for
wasn't
it.
really a lot of streaming
Yeah,
at that point.
and we
Like,
weren't-
There was, but
Yeah.
it was more YouTubers and Vines and like little bits and stuff.
Mm. Yeah, it's definitely not as it was now. But then I think, obviously, time passed, things changed, and then we got to a point when COVID hit, wasn't it? And I think that's when we were like, mate, let's do some streaming. I really want to do some streaming, and you were like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, I remember we were on a little video call
Yes,
with you, me, and Mr. Larry Turner,
that's right. Yeah.
and we
Shout
were
out
just
to Larry.
chatting. We
Yeah.
just having a little chat, and we were like, "Oh, I want to stream." I was like, "I want to stream! Oh
Yeah.
my god!"
And like, oh yeah, let's
And we
go.
were just chatting, flitting about with it, and then I think it was about a month later
Yeah.
we played
Who-
some Dokapon.
Was it us together on mine, or was it? Did we do? Who streamed first? Can you remember?
I think I hadn't set up everything. I didn't have a setup, so we were streaming 2 cameras, Parsec. Playing Dokapon.
Parsec.
That was
yeah.
it. We were playing. We had me, you, Dokapon,
Yeah.
Parsec, and that was it. That was our first ever stream.
I'm trying to think back to like, yeah. So I think it was mine first. So I started it up as just Vice Wolfpack, and then we did a retro Dokapon stream.
Yeah.
Because we were just like, oh, well, we might as well just do something.
I streamed like a week later when I got my setup sorted.
Yeah, and then we
my
kind
first stream was Dead by Daylight on the PlayStation, using the PlayStation stream.
yeah, that's right, yeah.
day stream.
Mm.
It's all right.
And then we
It's
kind
alright.
of like got up together, started building kind of the assets and stuff. Obviously, what you guys see on a sort of day-to-day basis, we kind of were growing from there. We're coming up with like our overlays and stuff, and then I started streaming on like Wednesdays and Saturdays or something.
We were streaming on some weird days.
Yeah,
It was like Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays,
was
Saturdays.
very
It was
inconsistent.
every day, inconsistent.
Yeah.
Whenever we felt like it.
yeah.
It was usually together. I think we streamed a few times alone.
Yeah, I remember doing a few alone, and then I think we did like a bunch of like other games, and I remember we did, whether it was like our third or fourth stream, we did Valheim, didn't we?
Yeah, we very quickly got into Valheim and very quickly started doing that. But that was
Yeah.
when we realized the performance of my laptop.
Yeah,
It was fine, but it just wasn't really there.
yeah,
So it kind of took down our capabilities a little bit.
yeah. So we kind of did it for fun. We were doing it to kind of just like socialize with some people, and then I remember where it kind of started to build a bit more was when we did the Valheim stream, and we got raided by an amazing streamer of ours called Obsidio, and that was kind of where it started growing a lot quickly, didn't it? In terms of us as a channel.
Yeah, like, well,
Not growing
obviously,
quickly,
like-
but growing.
they obviously raided your channel.
Yeah.
And then, because obviously we were streaming separately, because we thought, oh, let's just do it separately. Yeah, let's build our channel separately. Why not? Which was a stupid idea, but whatever.
You can look
begin
back at it with hindsight and think, maybe we should have started joint.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think you needed to find what didn't work and what worked with
Yeah, I
yourselves
think-
first.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it was fine, but yeah, just we quickly realized when we started streaming, like, why are we wasting our time streaming separately? We stream on the same days, same thing.
You're playing
There's-
again with
we're
each
playing
other.
the same game.
Yeah.
And people are just
Making our
watching.
audience split
one
between two.
one day I'd have like 8 people, and Vice would have like 2 people. The next week
It
we'd
was-
have like 2. It was just a waste of our time. Like, why are we doing
Hmm.
separate when we could just do it all together, set the capabilities up?
Yeah.
So we were after about, I think, a month or 2, we were already at that point where we were like, we need to sort out something together.
Yeah, it was always on the cards, wasn't it? And I think because we were still in COVID times at that point, I
Yeah,
think it
that-
wasn't as easy.
That
to
was
kind
another
of-
factor into
yeah,
it.
to do. And then I kind of like tried to get a bit more knowledgeable. So I was speaking. So as soon as Obsidio raided, we got great friends with Obsidio and Tommy. And her amazing community, and then we kind of just like were sort of just outreaching to different people, playing games with various other like streamers and stuff, and other players, and that, which was really cool. And then we kind of got like quite comfortable with a lot of people, and they helped us kind of go, well, you could do this, or like try and do this, or maybe incentivize, like, because I knew nothing about like channel points, how to get people to sub and why they should sub, and so it was all new, and we were trying to figure it all out, weren't we? And
yeah, we learned a huge amount from other people. and
Yeah.
just other streamers and
and
stuff.
immensely grateful for that, and I think that was a real big like learning curve for us. And then it got to the point where we were like, so I'm growing and Az is growing, but like it doesn't really make sense that we're doing the same kind of content, we're playing similar games, but why are we dividing our fans into watching like my stuff and then your stuff, when essentially we could just do it together. So we rolled on that idea, and then we were like, we want to merge it, but we didn't have the capabilities of doing that because it was still COVID times, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then I took a bit of time off because I was moving house and lots of other things as well, and my laptop was just like, I'm struggling to cope. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
But it kind of got to the point where I was able to then financially invest into the software a bit more and upgrade my rig, moved house, set all this stuff up now. So where we are now is where I live, and this is now almost like our HQ in a way. It's the Fallen Games HQ, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the Fallen was always something that we did. So whenever we joint streamed, we always had like the Fallen like insignia and like logos and representations
we've
and
been
stuff.
Fallen for like 8-10 years.
Yeah, so it's always been a.
That was your faction.
Yeah, it was always.
Yeah, well, it was actually our wrestling tag team,
wrestling tag
Yeah.
team,
wasn't it? When we were like starting off and gonna train and stuff, and we were doing all of those little bits and stuff. So it kind of all came from that, and then we were then able to move forward with it, and then we finally pulled the trigger on it and moved forward with that, which obviously then it came into AAW, which is obviously now the brunt of majority of our content.
Where most people have come
Yeah, and I think that's where our brand identity is now formed from, really. So obviously new people, if you're listening into the first time, obviously thank you for joining us here. But for the old people, it's been a bit of a tonal shift in terms of what we've done, because before we were doing variety games, weren't we?
Yeah,
I was
we were
doing a
playing
lot of
loads
the
of
retro stuff,
Loads of
RPGs, and you were doing like, your Dead by Daylights and stuff, and
RPGs,
JRPGs, all that kind of stuff, and it all kind of came from there, and then it changed, and obviously when we did the wrestling, it kind of it opened up a different door for us in terms of
like I
overall
think
content.
because obviously when we changed to the Fallen Games, it was always a plan to do AAW,
Yeah.
but we didn't really think how much it would get a reaction. We didn't really think know how far it would go. We thought it might just be end up doing it for us, and it might just be a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But it has been fun, but it just hasn't been
You just said it hasn't been fun. I'm just gonna let's note that down.
it hasn't been what we thought. It's kind of almost become our identity.
Yeah.
Which is fine. We're not worried about that, but we're definitely.
It wasn't the
definitely pushed
intention
on.
to move forward and just be a wrestling based kind of Twitch and YouTube channel,
Yeah.
but it kind of has gone that way, and I think the other streams are kind of more of just a bonus for
Something
people, aren't they? So it's not always just wrestling based.
It's sort of like the cherry on top. It's not the most.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, our AEW content gets double, triple views of our other streams. I mean, we only stream on one day, an extra 1 day a week.
Yeah.
And that's, we have fun, we have a good time playing with our friends and our fans and stuff, and it's great. But yeah, the AEW stream is where the majority of our viewers and followers have all come from.
Yeah.
But I think, and it's, as you say, your early streaming careers were shaped by COVID. Because you couldn't meet up and stream. We couldn't. And the only way really AEW was going to work was in person, just because you can react.
Yeah, it could not have been done.
And I think from looking at it from an outsider perspective to start with,
Yeah, of course.
it's probably worked out better that you both started separately. Sort of still interacting with each other at start, because you wouldn't have wanted to start together and go, we're the Fallen Games, yeah. And then one of you goes I actually don't like doing this.
I think for me, it gave us a moment to allow us to have our
Do I want to do this?
Yeah, and also our personalities as well. And I think for me, it's always, I think we all know we're not a big streamer. We're not, and we're at a point where we're growing, and we're very, very grateful for anybody who watches and enjoys the content that we create. But it's hard work. There's a lot that goes into it, obviously behind the scenes, that a lot of people don't really see in terms of that. But it's also the actual presenting is really hard. But I think us doing it individually to start with allowed us to be okay, cool. So I know that I'm going to be talking in front of a camera, talking to maybe one or two people on a thing, and how can I base myself from that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we don't have them, but if we could look back at our very first streams, me especially, I was just hi guys, we're having a lovely time.
Playing Dead by
We're going to be playing Dead by Daylight.
Mm.
And then not talking for 30 minutes. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Now you can't shut me the fuck up. Standard as. And that's how we do it. But
yeah. Obviously, it takes time to grow, to get comfortable, and to do kind of stuff like that. I think I've been very lucky because, with my career, previously doing the music and stuff, it was very easy for me to just talk, and which is when we do AAW,
you're the main.
Try to steer the ship and kind of navigate.
That's what we said the last week.
Yeah.
You're the ship steerer. We're just.
we're the shit stirrer.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it works, doesn't
that's
it?
it.
That's how
I
we
think
do
we
it.
found that kind of niche. But if we go back to when we were obviously just the two individual streamers and stuff, I remember we were having conversations and you were oh man, it's not growing as much as I thought it was going to do. I don't really see the need or the point and kind of thing. And I know I got to a point where I was I might be done doing this.
It's hard work when you're streaming, and you've been doing it for so when we first started, we streamed quite a lot. We were probably doing 3-4 nights a week, maybe.
Yeah.
And we just weren't getting anything. You wouldn't have followers, you wouldn't have viewers. We'd have a few friends would drop in and then go, and then that would be it. We wouldn't be getting any new people, and it's heart wrenching because you're just saying like,
Yeah.
like I know this is difficult, but I thought somebody might have liked what I'm doing, and you just don't get it. So it does get to you quite quickly.
The trouble I found was if you were both streaming and playing the same thing, it'd be who do I actively
Yeah,
watch?
exactly.
Yeah,
Like, I can
totally,
have you
yeah.
both open
That's what
in
we
tabs,
realised
but
quite quickly.
one of you is going to be muted,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
you had like different setups. So
Yep.
I think at the time as you were on a delay.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the feed.
Yeah, just that, like in terms of, so if I was in the game as well, I'd be like, okay, I can't listen to ads because stuff's gonna I'm gonna confuse myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's it, and I think it's almost like you were two plants planted in the same pot, and neither of you could grow.
That's a beautiful little.
Yeah,
like that.
neither of you could
Yeah, I love
grow.
Yeah.
You both wanted to, so the only way to do it was combine together.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just made sense logically to do it towards the end as well, and like people still enjoyed, like, you know, sometimes I've been unavailable, so Az has, like, you know, done his own streams and stuff, and I think I've done one solo stream maybe since doing it in that, and you know, and it's been really cool, but it just made sense to merge it in the end, so that's where obviously the Falling Games was born. You know,
The thing is as well, like we can do extra streams, but at the moment, there's, like, they're not going to get us much. Like not in a harsh way to anyone. Like AAW streams are us. We can't. There's no physical way we can do another AAW stream.
And it's
because
also as well,
it would lose the passion and stuff.
I think we've discussed
doing a
it.
Fortnite stream is great, but it's not going to grow anything. In terms
Like
of
we
really.
could look to do another stream, but I think the danger is if you're streaming, say, one game twice a week for 3 or 4 hours, you've got to love that game and know you're not going to get sick of it.
Yeah.
And as much as we love playing 2K22, sometimes you get to the end of the night and you're like, I don't have to do this for a week.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
I have to-
definitely.
If I have to reverse one more fucking clothesline,
If I have to pin Smith one more time, I'm going to get so angry.
he's going to do a roll up again, and if he uses resiliency, I should have
Tries to
won
roll
that
me
match.
up again.
But,
I think it is definitely burnout is a huge thing, and lots of streamers do experience that, and it's a massive side effect of doing content. And again, like if you want to make this your living and your job and stuff, like, you know, you've got to enjoy the content you do. I remember speaking to a former student of mine who was he's got a really successful YouTube channel, but he built all of his stuff on Genshin Impact. But he got to the point where he was so bored of playing Genshin Impact, he was like, I don't want to do it anymore. But if I don't do Genshin Impact content,
You don't get it.
my viewerships are all going to go down.
You've got
I
nothing to
love
fall back
Genshin
on.
Impact, but it's one of those games which, like, it's just you do run out of stuff to do.
Yeah.
100%.
Whereas
100%.
with AAW, I think what makes it different and unique is that we do promos with it. We watch it as a show, so there is spontaneous, like, things that happen. There is genuine reactions to things, but then we also mix it up with playing those matches as well, wanting our characters to succeed, where the storylines kind of go, and we can manipulate things as much as possible. So we have a little bit of creative control over it, but then we allow the game to do its thing and to be the magnificent beast
2K is going to
that it
2K.
is. 2K will 2K.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes it more interesting. Whereas, you know, we're trying our best to put on as much as like a professional kind of product as possible, using a game, using a whole universe of created characters that people do not know, but we know. And that's the hardest thing, is trying to get across, like, history, characters, people that are relevant, people who are the top dogs in comparison to the low kind of end people. When someone new walks in and they're like, who the heck is this
Especially
black
when,
character?
especially when they tune in and there's a promo on.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is happening? Why is there a
Yeah.
weirdo here just chatting shit
it's-
to me? In a
but it's
red-
interesting.
Red overglow.
It's interesting when that happens. 'Cause I remember we had someone join when Derriere Pierre, like, they started.
When they
watching,
came down to the ring.
came down the ring, and
entrance.
then the thing their first comment was like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
And we're like, and they're like, "I love this."
Hello.
Yeah, you either get it or you don't. I
Yeah,
think again, it's wrestling is always Marmite with people. Like, they'll either enjoy it or they won't. But I think for me personally, it's been one of the best things that I've been able to work on in terms of like content wise, because it's so different and unique to anything else. Like you can do like your Fortnite streams and have fun doing that, and people can watch and enjoy the gameplay. I'm not a good enough gamer to be at that level where you're watching me for gameplay wise, regardless of whatever game it is. So, and like I'm not that kind of player in that way. Like RPG wise is really hard to connect with on social streams, because
I love playing RPGs, but it's hard.
But am I entertaining enough to get it across? Like,
It's
do I do
hard to
voiceovers? Do I listen to it? How I want to try and engage the audience as much as possible?
Yeah, exactly. It's
Whereas
hard.
with the Fallen Game stuff and wherever with AAW, it's like, because we're creating it, we're also allowing it to be what it is, but we can dictate how we present the shows. And like, I love just doing like, I'll go, cool, this is this match, this is this. Guys, what do we think? And then you can chime in with your inserts, and you do that as well. We all react differently as well. Like, we've got our favorites with people that we don't like. It makes a really interesting dynamic. I mean, I think because there's 3 of us, it makes it even more entertaining. And that brings us over to the next thing that I want to talk about is Smiz.
The big one.
Smiz joining the Fallen Games.
When it all went downhill.
No,
not
so. It
When
grew.
we-
If this was a documentary, they'd be like, and then
The rise and fall of AEW.
The thing
and then
is,
things changed.
I remember us talking.
They added Poochie the
I
dog.
remember me and Vice were talking. We were in town. Went into town with our partners, and we went for coffee. And we were trying to organize this and get it started and decide what
We always wanted to do this, didn't we?
Yeah, we always wanted to do it.
We'll talk a bit
Like,
about the history of AEW in a minute.
We were thinking, right, what are we gonna do here? We need to. So who do we want to do this? We were like, we want Smiz with it. We want Smiz with us.
Yeah,
We
one
want-
of the OG founders
want-
of AEW.
We want Smiz to be involved in this because 1, he's got some hilarious creations, and 2, depending on how much he wants to be involved, he's got the banner.
I felt the world
He's got
needed
the
to
jokes, he's got
see
everything.
Smiz. I
He's
felt
got-
the world
Yeah.
needed
It's
to
great,
have.
and
They're now saying put him back, but
No,
And we didn't know how
We've
much
seen
you
enough.
were going to be involved.
It
We
was-
know you wanted to.
on my
be
initial
involved.
reaction was that you
We
wouldn't
didn't.
want to be a part
We
of
didn't
it.
know what you were gonna do, and then you came in. We were like, you don't have to be on camera if you don't want. You're like, yes, fine. You smashed it, and then you were like, I've done a promo for Denon. We were like, what?
yeah.
And you absolutely smashed it completely, and we didn't know what to expect, and you just blew us over. With
The thing is, like, you
with what
set
did.
the bar to a certain degree, and I'm like, if I want to be involved, I have to try and match that.
Yeah.
No, it was. I think it was because it was just after sort of COVID restrictions were starting to ease up.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember it was when we meet in town for brunch and that.
Had some good times. I loved it.
Yep. And it's talking about, like, I think you were saying, like, we're thinking of bringing it back and sort of things.
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, this is now that you can go around other people's houses again, because what a fun time that was for. Remember that year where you couldn't sit on a bench?
It's mad, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully that's all in the past still.
Yeah, I could do it again.
But yeah, I remember you saying, like, look, do you want to be involved? We'd like you to be involved. But I've never been a showman. That's not I've never been that sort of person.
Oh, he's in there.
Yeah.
He was always in there.
He was
knew
always
it.
in there, but he's always like, get to know him first.
Yeah, yeah.
We loved it.
Stick a couple of Coronas in there
Yeah.
Yeah, with Desperado too
And
instead.
it's
with a lime.
it's like I'm one of those things, like, once people get to know me, that's when they're like, oh, he's really
Someone
funny.
can't shut him the fuck up.
Yeah, but initially it's like, I mean, it happened earlier today. Like,
Yeah,
people are
for
like,
sure.
you're so funny. And it's
Yeah,
like,
what a lovely
yeah,
compliment.
because you know me. If you introduce me to strangers and go, he's so funny, and they're like, oh, really? Say something funny. I'm like,
Yeah.
Shit.
let me tell you about which one of the cats is really pretentious around where I live. Without context, it's yeah. People go, just what is this person? And still, people do that.
Sure.
But no, you're like you don't have to be on camera if you don't want to. I was like, is there a way we could do that? Like,
We would
without
put a bag on your head, mate.
well, it was that, or I'm like
Yeah.
sat in like there's a different camera. And I was
different room,
yeah,
like silhouetted.
pixelated.
Yeah, yeah.
But no,
And
I
I was
thought,
like, no, he's not a murderer.
yeah, he's not on Crime Watch
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
witness
Crime
to
Watch.
like.
Yeah.
But no, I thought I may as well go all in. Let's just see, and yeah,
Yeah, if you
Loved
didn't
it.
like it and you decided
But that's it.
against
There was no
that's
massive
fine.
pressure, was there?
no, and it's like if I came out and I was like, I'm really not feeling this. I don't think it's.
Yeah.
But no, I think because we're all friends and it's similar to how we are anyway.
I think that's one of the coolest things about streaming is obviously there's a pressure to put on a great show to people and like to have fun and interact with the chat as much as possible.
Yeah.
But then there's also not like we don't have to talk to chat if we don't want to. We can literally just play it off without it. We could turn chat off completely and just focus solely on the show. But I think what's great is that like our dynamic together works really well. And it took a little bit of time to kind of get fine-tuned and adjusted and get a bit more confidence with it and stuff. Yeah. But now it's at a point where it's like, for me anyway, I think it works so well and it runs really smoothly. We all know what we're doing, like how we kind of want to present the product and how we like conduct ourselves and stuff. Every now and again, there's a little slip of unprofessionalism when we lose or whatever, but that
I don't have a clue what you are talking
about. A little bit, there's a little bit of charm
Rocker
there.
Versus Rich Uncle Skeleton, maybe.
Jesus. That was bad. If you go back and watch the AEW revival and listen to Adriel's commentary on that, that's a good time.
Which one's that? Is that
That's the one where you were like, fucking can't get these pins.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck this stupid shit. He was so angry. I was so angry.
Title match, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was. It was because of the pins. It's because.
Yeah. Again, we've changed our setup. We have a bit of a more of an adapted layout in comparison to what we did then, but it was a lot of fun.
I was pissed off those pins, 100%.
Yeah.
No regrets.
Trust me, you can go back and watch it on our YouTube channel. It is on there.
But that we still have moments like that, like intense matches. You're like, oh, but
it's I think good. It's nice.
They need that.
Yeah,
there's that level of.
They love seeing us pissed off at times as well.
There's that. Yeah. You can see that we're invested in it. I think that's the way that you can. If you're watching a stream or anything, and the person doing it isn't invested, you kind of think, well, why should I be? If they're not caring about what's going on, they're like, oh, he's just hit a move.
Yeah.
Oh wow. No. But if they're like hyped about it, you get hyped. It's natural. It's contagious.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have said that after talking about COVID, should I?
But I think it's one of those things as well. Like again, we wanted you to be a part of it, and it came out organically. And like when we introduced you and stuff, everyone was obviously so welcoming and so lovely about it. And now that they know you, it's like,
when's he going?
No, not at all, man. They love you.
I know.
I think that's been the most welcoming thing is that our community that we have here is really lovely, and they love what we've been able to make and produce and having you as part of the show. Like for me, like you're integral to the Fallen Games now in terms of especially the AAW content that we produce as well. But like how what's it done for you, like being a part of this? Like what's it done and what does it mean to you?
I think it's just it's got me out of the house, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to phrase it better than that, but it has sort of done that. It's got me more involved.
Yeah.
Lets me see you guys.
Exactly.
That's it. I can. It's allowed me to meet other people like Flea, Skippy.
Yeah, of
all
course.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just got me out there, and yeah, I'm thankful for that.
Something to do on the weekends, isn't it?
Got him out there.
Yeah. Something to do on the weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gives me a reason to wake up.
Exactly. So
Shit.
So obviously with that though, we can talk a little bit more about like kind of the creation of AAW and like a little bit of the kind of history that sort of came about like AAW. I think why it is what it is. Obviously we have our own sort of like history with certain elements of it. Obviously not a lot of people know. So I mean, could you tell us a little bit more about like AAW and like how that all kind of came to be before the streaming?
Of course, Jesus.
Because
that's a long way away.
It's going back to college days, isn't it?
We can take it back millions of years ago with our 13 subscribers on YouTube.
I mean, the first thing that we did...
The first one videoed, I think, was 5 years ago.
Yeah, so that was
when we did Retribution. But before that, we were playing well before that. I mean, I've been playing WE games with Smiz
for
10 years.
Oh, going back to college because we'd skip.
We made the McRae Experience.
Yeah.
Which was a great team.
That was the start of just creating like
created the first ever for Floresta Poisoner, the Serenity Eagle.
And
can we save a communist? We're going to save a communist
multi-form.
Yeah.
But it was that idea of playing as your created characters.
The very first match we played was a 3-on-1 handicap against Kane. And
we kicked our asses. I can't remember.
What game was it?
It was
the one where you created characters. You had to play matches to level them up. to get their attributes higher. So
Yeah.
we're like, oh, we'll just do a triple threat against 3-on-1 handicap against Kane.
Yeah, to
get some
raise our
points
stats,
up.
and
He smashed us.
he battered us because it'd be like
239s, no 339s versus like this is probably like 90 Kane or something.
it's probably something like that. I think it was it was Mass King, so
was
you
crazy.
knew
Oh,
it was
the good
good.
version.
It was crazy, and
Yeah.
then as
Just
I
carried on.
went through, I obviously met you and Larry.
Yep.
And I just remember remember being at work where I worked at the time with Larry, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna play the new WWE games that tonight. He's like, oh, why'd you play that? That's really lame. I like wrestling, but the game's boring. I was like, mate, come round.
Yeah.
So he came round.
Yeah.
And we started playing it, and I just remember that from then he was like, "This game's amazing. I want to play." So he bought it. We played it.
Yeah.
We got Vice involved. He was playing it. We got Smiz over. We all started playing it.
Yeah, got a friend Witty as well. He never really played, but he kind of like
He
was
liked-
just
it
there
was-
with
We
us.
Yeah,
loved
it was
to hang out.
Flynn
to-
as well. Sometimes
We
was
watched the
like,
wrestling.
Yeah.
We'd play, and we were like, we'd always meet up to watch for wrestling. We were like, you
yeah,
know what?
Yeah.
Why don't we just smash our own show?
yeah.
So we made all the titles, all the
Mhm.
stadiums and stuff, and we
Yep.
just the basic characters we had, we started chucking them together to make a show.
And then I think 5 years ago, it became like a thing. So we would meet up as a group of friends, watch the wrestling pay-per-views, but before we would put on our own show, and every show would be a reflection of the pay-per-view that we were watching.
Yeah.
And then it all kind of just sort of grew from there. We did like sort of promos with it. We had like our own characters.
Some of the promos are dodgy as hell.
Yeah, they were bad. I look back at
Jesus.
some of mine. They're
The
quite
interview of
interesting.
Azrael was always my favourite.
With the underwear in the back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Classic.
literally.
But I think it was like then it was different because we were like, so my guy is Mercer Black, yours is Azrael, shock, and yours is obviously Denim Diablo. But we were like these are
Perennial
the guys,
loser at the end of the hour.
we were like these are the guys that we want to push. These are
Yeah.
like our guys, so they would always be in the main title picture, etc., etc.
We controlled it a lot more. We controlled everything a lot.
Yeah,
But there was almost like
I
no.
mean, we played every single match as well. So
Yeah.
yeah. We
There
never
was
watched
no
them.
kind of focus or end goal at that point.
No,
It was just for us, and
We
it's
bought
like
a title. It was like, I want to be the best. Fuck you guys.
yeah. It was always like who had the title. There was no sort of like. It was
It wasn't massive structure to
What's
it.
the
It was-
mid card doing?
It
No
was
one cared.
you're like, oh, no one gives a damn. We were just like we're
Smash
just
him
gonna-
in a match. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
we were just going to play the little bits, and kind of never, and then it kind of fizzled out. I think COVID kind of hit that as well a little bit, didn't it? It was like we were doing various little bits, and we stopped for a while, but we would still meet up and watch.
I
Like,
think
events.
everyone's life just happened at
Yeah,
particular points.
Yeah, it was
Crazy
Stuff
totally
went
different.
on, and
Yeah.
like it'd be like if there was a pay-per-view that really we didn't want to
I was like,
watch.
Battlegrounds? No way.
I think it was probably something like if there was
Wrestling stopped getting
You know,
interesting,
like-
to be honest, at that point.
Yeah,
kind of. It'd be this. I don't know if it was this one, but it'd be the equivalent of like Romans won the Rumble.
Yeah,
And it was-
we were done with the
The
product.
Rumble,
Or,
the
um,
Rumbles and the WWE started to get a
Triple
bit
H
stale
won
for
the
us.
Rumble. That sort of thing where you go like, okay, we've stayed up to watch this. I really don't want to do 7 hours of Mania
Yeah,
Yeah,
like for
it was
this.
getting too much.
And,
It was.
and
Kind
people
of
had their own
blacked
stuff
out.
going on, own lives, and
Mhm.
yeah, it just kind of fizzled out.
Mhm.
We still kept in contact, but
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. We did. I'm joking.
there was no real beef. I think it was just like.
you just
I think it reached its point to where we were enjoying it. I think,
Yeah.
I think we got to a point where it was like, I think, again, like different people
We
in
didn't do
our
it the right
lives were
way.
different.
We did
it
Yeah.
was
right.
The fun kind of
yeah.
stopped with
It
it.
felt more forced than actually fun.
Yeah, and then here we are, many years later.
Then we thought, let's get the trauma back.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's bring the hatred back. But actually, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, we're going about it a different way.
Yeah,
We're
and
not
I think
as,
because
we're invested, but we're not as invested. As we
yeah,
used
I
to.
think that's the biggest thing. We allow ourselves to take a little bit of our own like
still
kind of
get pissed
intentions
off,
and stuff
but-
away, but like actually with the way it's gone, it's grown organically, and it's been like its own kind of beautiful creation, in my personal opinion, in terms
Yeah.
of the content that we've created. I mean, if we look back on our first show and stuff, like it's really interesting.
Yeah.
You look at it, you're like, oh wow, yeah, like
First show's man.
the first show was like, oh hello, sorry, the first show was like, you know, we look back on it, we played it on 2K19, didn't we?
Yeah.
and that was
But it's fine.
to this point. That was 7 months ago.
Rick, just 7. Look how
7
far we've
months.
come.
Yeah.
7 months.
So 7 months ago we launched it, and we did like episode 1, which was on 2K19, and we were kind of just going with it. And obviously there was a lot of work that went into building everything at that point.
Yeah, it was fun, but it was different. It was, it was weird.
Yeah. But we got to that kind of point, and then when we started doing it, obviously we're good friends with a guy called Fletcher. So Fletcher was like, mate, like, no, I see what you're doing with this like wrestling thing. Like, is there a way I can get involved? And he saw some of the promos that we did, so we filmed some bits, some vignettes and stuff. And he was like, mate, how can I get involved? And then we were like, yeah, cool. Like, if you want to be a part of it, you need to do this, commit to it. And he was like, yeah, and he delivered every week. And ever since then, it's grown. Everything's kind of taken to a life of its own. And the Revival pay-per-view, the first one that we did, was really, really successful. People got to kind of experience what we were trying to put on, and the fun that kind of went with it.
Very difficult game to play at that point.
Yeah, it was. It was.
2K19 was
a beast.
It was a good game. Better than some of the previous ones.
Yeah,
but it still had its own issues and problems.
Yeah.
Pin system.
That pin system was.
I feel like the pin system wasn't the issue. It was the.
No, I hated it.
Awkward.
I think the pin system was very interesting. The whole hit the meter thing was quite intense, but it was also like, I mean, there was matches sometimes that we would play like off camera where we would just never be able to lose because you would always be able to hit it if you timed it just right. Whereas like now in the new one, if you get beaten enough, there's no chance that you will kick out. No chance. And I think that actually makes more of a balanced kind of game because it's fairer, isn't it? Like,
we were saying this earlier. A finisher now feels like a finisher.
Yeah, for sure.
But if someone is good at mashing, they can potentially pull it out. Whereas you could hit a finisher in 2K19 and person gets it on. I think it happened in that Revival match.
Yeah, I could get it.
You hit it, and I hit it. Somehow I hit that minuscule blip there. And you're not happy when that happens.
No, you're not happy at all.
Yeah.
I'm still not happy now.
Nice. Yeah, you made up for it.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But it allowed us to do something like, with loving the wrestling, loving the gaming of it, and being able to put on our own like show and kind of control it in some ways, because there's some things we couldn't control.
Can you believe the Royal Battle was the last one on it on 2K19?
Yeah, it's surprising, isn't it?
I wonder if Mercer would have won it if it was in 2K22.
To be honest, the Royal Battle had like Royal Rumbles haven't changed that much from the games.
No,
I think they're quite similar.
Probably.
So I think it maybe I don't know. It's really really interesting to note, isn't it, in terms of how that potentially could have gone. But yeah,
I think it'd be a different beast because obviously 2K19 had reversal limits and
for
that.
sure. Yeah,
whereas now you can reverse, but it's more about timing and as a result. Like, the way we play 2K19 is completely different to how we play 2K.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
The games are
2K19,
dramatically different.
If you had no reversals, you were fucked.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whereas now,
you always have reversals.
You always have reversals, but if you're stunned, you're buggered. But
I remember when we first heard of it, because there was, I think IGN did like a little review, and they were talking about it, and we were like, "Oh man, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this. Like that doesn't sound great." But obviously, because we were conditionalized for such a long time that the reversal system was what it was, and you only had certain amounts, like.
It's not as easy as you think. You can't reverse everything. You get times where you reverse everything.
But things are different. Like if you get punched in a certain way and the combo begins, you don't press. You don't press Y or triangle to reverse it. You have to press the button that they're pressing. So I really like that mechanic. I think that's really been cool. And I think there's definitely room to improve it in other areas.
Oh yeah. But
yeah, it's definitely allowed us to enjoy it more. But I think another thing that's really important about what we do in the AEW is that actually we let things just happen. Like we watch a lot more now than we play.
Yeah.
And I think that's become really enjoyable.
Yeah.
No one would have ever thought. I mean, God, like YVD, so Joseph Van Diver is one of our characters. Who he was kind of not created as a jobber. He was just always kind of just going to be there, and
just the old man.
He was just like, we just wanted an older guy in the roster. He's one of your creations.
You just wanted to jump off the ropes and kick people in the head.
Yeah, and then now he's like, at this point contending for our world championship
since Dynasty, since 2K 2022, basically.
Yeah,
being ridiculous.
Yeah, so he's been on a winning streak of 6 in a row, which is unreal.
Yeah.
And I think we've played maybe like 2 of his matches, maybe, but the rest have been like simulated, and he's just been on a tear, and it's
hard to beat.
so enjoyable. So yeah, if you are interested in AEW, guys, you can watch some of the highlights and some of the actual like live streams on our YouTube channel. It's all on there, so you can click the link in our bio to kind of find out more about it. If you had to recommend a show to someone who's new here and wants to watch AEW for the first time and experience it, what would you recommend?
Oh, that's a hard one.
I'll let Az take the lead on this one.
I mean, I feel like it's got to be the grandest scale of them all and be AEW Dynasty. I think there's been a lot, or even Changing Pocket. They're all good. They're all great. Changing the Pocket was incredible.
Yeah.
I think that Changing the Pocket is probably one of the best ones we've done. But Dynasty, I mean, that's with the last time you see, at the moment, Azrael, Mercer, and Denim in a title match. And it was a good match. It was a good match.
But was it Kano, Denim Diablo level?
So again, that was a great match. That's probably match of the night. Match of AEW so far is Kano versus Denim.
For
So
me,
it's
it's
hard.
changing the pocket.
It's changing
If I was
the
going to
dynasty.
show someone, I think it's changing the pocket because so much happened. Like,
Change was great. Change
What
was
else
great.
happened on Dynasty? Do we have the?
we could look back at some of the key highlights. And
Yeah,
if you wanted
I just want to I'm leaning
Wait a
towards
minute, I
Dynasty.
feel like he's setting me up here. Was there someone I've forgotten about? So he had the opening 6-man elimination match, didn't we? As
That's
always.
where Yosef starts his career.
Yeah.
Starts his rise.
Yeah, Yosef won that, didn't he?
Rise of
Yeah, so that
Yosef.
was when Yosef won that and started to kickstart his
I-
career. Warden beat Warlock in a steel cage match. That was great.
It was a great event.
The Queen Blade beat Cherry Bomb. No, Cherry Bomb beat Queen Blade, didn't she?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, you would have thought it. Look at that.
Yeah, this might be why.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the reason why. Yeah, I skip past
The
that.
Jungle Skeleton annihilated the Rocker.
Not
I-
like it is a bit far. But...
I
Was it Ling Yamahashi?
Kano had a great match as well, didn't he?
Oh, Kane won a battle royale.
Kano beat. This is where Kano. This was it. The moment Kano became #1 contender.
In that
Yeah.
incredible match where he kicked out of every single
He kicked
pin.
out about 7,000 pins.
It was
I-
unbelievable.
I think this is my favorite.
Yeah?
The old gods absolutely destroying everyone.
Yeah, they eliminated
Yeah.
everyone in the tag match.
I think Changing the Pocket is a close second.
I think Changing the Pocket is a ridiculously good match. It is ridiculously.
I know
good.
why he's picking Dynasty, because he won everything.
He had a great Dynasty.
I did
Dynasty
have a
was
great. No,
Dynasty was great, but I will say Changing the Pocket is a very
Changing
good
the
match as
Pocket,
well.
I think, has some better matches.
I
Like-
think it's better.
But I think overall, I prefer Dynasty. Not because I won.
I don't believe you.
Not because perennial loser Denim Diablo.
Look out! Like
Everyone is so pissed.
whatever.
Yeah. I
In
think-
fairness, it wasn't a phenomenal show.
Yeah.
I think, but if you wanted to show like,
It's changed.
The craziness and
shows
everything,
more
like-
difference. AEW is.
I think we have stepped up our game in terms of everything that's
Oh,
been
yeah,
created in terms of that.
Yeah.
Ever since then,
that was a great match.
Warden won that, didn't he? I forgot. But yeah, yeah. I mean, again, there's so
We're
much
back.
content that you can check out all on our
Yeah,
our
there's-
YouTube channel. It's all on there, and it's a great time. It's been a lot of
Yeah.
fun doing that, for sure. In terms of what we've been creating, but how do you see AAW and the Fallen Games growing in the future? Like in terms of what we're doing here, where do you see it? Like say in a year's time.
It's hard to say because we're so dependent on getting the views and the followers. To be honest with everyone.
Yeah, of
here.
course it
You know
is, yeah.
that's.
Like we can
Yeah.
obviously do it for ourselves to
we
a point.
can do
but
stuff, but we can only grow as much as we get the viewers and the followers. I mean, obviously, we're
people
looking
sharing.
at getting a championship belt.
Yeah,
so
a real
that's
championship belt. Yeah.
that's a big deal. It's just continue what we're doing, keep promoting, keep pushing, keep trying to make interesting storylines.
Yeah. You guys sharing it as well. That helps
Yeah.
a lot.
But yeah, there's only so much we can do with it.
Yeah.
It was same in a way.
Mhm.
Like we're determined and we're committed to it.
Yeah.
Just needs to be more enjoyable for you guys. We're not more enjoyable. We
Well,
just need to
yeah.
Any
reach a
consistency,
wider,
yeah.
wider audience
It's finding.
and see what 2K23 is going to be like.
Well,
if we need to
that's-
switch everything over.
That's the other
Christ.
factor. It's whether 2K23 will go. It might probably let you do it on the PC version more than anything. It's like you can import all your old stuff.
I think we'll be very surprised if that
I
happens.
would like to think they're starting to get to that thing because
Maybe.
it's built on the
That's a
same
long
engine
time as
as
well.
pretty much.
But we'll say like that's
If you
probably
can do
April,
that.
isn't it? I would assume it would come out at the same time if they're going to do it again.
If they're going to do it,
They might
It's-
leave it a
it's
year.
something to
if
think
they leave
about,
it a
like-
year, it's fine, but I doubt they will because of Cody Rhodes. They'll want to get Cody Rhodes
Yeah.
into a game as soon as possible.
We'll see. We'll have to keep
So-
our finger on the pulse in terms of that.
but if they
yeah.
go, yeah, you can import content, and it will go, okay, right, you can't have.
Hats on characters.
Yeah, when they're in the ring.
Oh, they'll always find a way. People find a way. That restriction is so bullshit as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Not going to start that.
AR
around.
2K devs, listen.
Yeah, yeah. Entrance only items, and oh, you can't wear a hat with a mask. That's what you sound like. That's what you sound like when I'm selecting it.
There you go.
But yeah, it's they might go, okay, these parts are no longer in the game, or we've imported as much as possible, but because I don't know, Alistair Black's not in the company anymore, you can't have his theme.
It's gonna
But
be a lot of
just
stuff
to import as much as possible, because we've created a whole universe, and to create it again,
It took me like
yeah,
a month and a half, I think.
yeah, that's the sort of thing that I think might push us like to not do it or to ease up. But then if we
I
stay,
think it's hard because I think we would
but
have
then we
to.
stay in 2K22.
Yeah,
until
it's-
we.
Yeah, we'll stay in
It's that-
2K22 and
it's-
slowly build.
I think it's that thing that we talked about when we were originally talking about, doing AEW and stuff, and we were doing it, and then 2K22 was on the horizon. We were like, do we switch or do we just continue on 2K19? I am so glad that we did switch,
Yes.
because I think if we didn't, we would not have grown. Because you look at what that is now, like it's just. I don't think we can afford to not switch
Yeah,
to the new one.
we'll have to switch.
Yeah.
We'll have to
So
I
switch.
think
I think
it's
it's
also we
That's cool.
waited
The
to
thing
see.
is-
But I've got it. But the thing is, I've got all the stuff that we've done. Like it's all on here. So like I have everything. Like,
It'd
whereas,
just be creating
The
again.
problem
And,
is, we need to get it. You need to get it done quickly. We need to get
Yeah.
that first wave as soon as possible. So we'll
Yeah.
have to be perfectly honest, as soon as 2K23 has a release date, we will book that off if we can, and we fucking
yeah. Well, that's why I bought the deluxe
Smash.
edition and got it 2 days earlier, wasn't
Yeah.
it? So I
Yeah,
could
smash it
create
and
all the
get
content.
onto
Yeah.
that
I actually
stream
played
as soon as possible.
out of all of us. I think I played the least because I was just making content. You know,
So
but it's all good.
we're ready for it. We're ready for it.
yeah, I think it's. I don't know whether they've earned themselves enough sort of grace for me to go, yeah, I'm going to pre-order that straight away and I'm going to get it day one and I'm going to do this. I mean, I think I ended up getting 2K22 day one, but that's because you had it early and we played it a bit.
Yeah, we actually enjoyed it, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's really good.
Whereas, like, there's still the stigma of 2K20.
I mean, I think the real
Yeah.
thing is if 2K could just give us a copy quite early, so
Yeah, there
we
you
can
go.
Yeah.
start off and just help promote us.
And
we
if they
can
could
promote
let
them.
us wear whatever creative character
So
stuff.
2K,
and-
Don't be ruining our
dude,
relationship.
we're trying to be nice
No.
to 2K here. 2K, we love
I
you.
think
No,
that also
that's-
as well, like we need to get it because it's our content. So like I
Yeah,
don't look
100%.
at it now as like a thing of like,
Yeah.
oh, I might buy the game. It's like, no, you have to. Like we all
That's
have to now.
expensive.
Like,
That is expensive.
it's expenses,
now, mate.
isn't
That's
it? It's part of
expensive
it,
now.
isn't it? Really, like because it's that's how we're making our guys and our characters and stuff. And but
I think
It's
it's interesting because if it came out and like it's like initial reports, it's a dumpster fire. You'd be like,
yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
'Cause
Like
it's-
if it was
it's-
2K20 level, no, I would not.
you almost want to know that before,
Mm.
because you as much as it would make sense, and it's the newest game, so that's what's going to get the most traction. That's what's going to
Yeah.
get the most views. If you're doing it and it crashes every time you want to do something,
I mean, it
and
does now, but
it's not as bad.
for me it is.
Well, no, we haven't had any crashes on stream.
No, we've been lucky.
We've had that
Even
match
lucky.
that refused to
Touch
load.
wood.
Yeah, we did
Which-
have a point where it was breaking, but then I realised the problem. It was an issue with the images, but
And they patched it up as well.
rectified
They
didn't
patched
They
it.
made
It has
So
been
it
a
makes
lot
me think
better.
they
Mm.
listen to feedback from.
Yeah,
They were like, we can't just put the same shoddy
Yeah,
product
yeah,
out there
no.
from 2K.
Mm.
Not that 2K19 was shoddy in sense, but it's like
Yeah.
you've,
And
you've
GM
got
mode would be even better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also as well, like, so going back to like the channel growth and stuff. Obviously,
Yeah.
we were very, very, very lucky to be raided by Cultaholic,
Very lucky,
which was amazing, and obviously that
Huge.
gave us a few people. So if you're here from there, amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. But it's little things like that. So in terms of growth for the future, what I thought would be really cool, and if we could ever make it work, and obviously we're going to try our best, is like is doing collaborations with people like bigger like names and stuff to
that's
try and insert our way into different things, like
That's a big thing.
collaborating with certain like people, and that would be an amazing opportunity. Obviously, we'll make sure it's worthwhile for both parties and stuff. I don't want to just like, with kind of anyone and stuff. But obviously, AEW is a very closed community in terms of who can join and stuff. It's just because it allows us to have more control, and it doesn't upset anyone if your guy keeps losing week and week and week after. And I don't want messages from people going, "Make my guy win." No, if they don't win, mate, they don't win. And I'm not putting your level 100 boxer in a wrestling promotion.
We still go on,
Bro, it's not happening.
I think that's what some people come in expecting. They see it and they see a created universe and they're like, oh, it's just one of those ones where anyone can join. Do I think?
Yeah.
And
Which is awesome. I love people who
It's
do
great
that.
coming in,
but-
but you got to put the effort in. We're not
It's-
just we're willing to let people in, but we need that relationship first. We need
Yeah.
you to understand
It's
what
a
we're
bit-
doing.
Yeah.
It's not just a jump in, jump on.
And there is no expectation that you're going to be like.
there's
winning every
ideas
match.
there's
Yeah.
ideas for characters and things like that, but to go like you can't have creative control
We've
because
got-
we don't. Sometimes we don't even have
We've
creative
got our
control. We let the game do it.
Are in this.
Yeah,
you
but they're
know?
close friends though.
Yeah.
Close friends. They're doing promos. They ain't winning.
And we make him lose.
We
do
do
it on
promos. We don't always win. But it's
No.
not about winning. It's not like you get past that point. It's about actually the world building, the
It's a show.
participation.
It's a show.
It's a
We can say
story.
like, oh, I want all the titles, but actually no. It's like I do, like, for me, one of my favorite things is doing the promos, because like I want to be like, oh, I want my promo to be better than Denim's, or I want my promo to be better than Az's. And
Yeah.
it's like healthy competition. It's never, for me, it's like, oh, I want to make sure my guy like puts on a great match and has a great performance, rather than I want to win every belt. I want to control everything. Because if that's the case, then nah, that's just boring. Because then it just becomes about
The show's
me.
done. The show's done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause that's just where it gets stale. And again, we also listen to what people say as well. Like,
I mean, YVD was it only became number one contender
because the audience wanted it.
because they wanted him in that open challenge, and then
I
they
mean, he
wanted him in
deserved
that
it.
6-man.
He deserved it as well.
If he hadn't beaten the champion earlier that night, we would have gone, no, why would he? Yeah.
Yeah,
But the
he
fact-
was originally shit tipped to be in the IC match, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that he beat the champion convincingly earlier
Yeah.
that night, and I think someone suggested it in the chat, and then someone else got like,
No,
sort of-
because the match was about to start. I was like, should we put
But it was-
YVD in?
someone was
And then
saying
someone was
it.
like, yeah, put
Yeah,
YVD
people
in.
would.
Yeah.
People would. Yeah, they were asking.
wanted
for it,
someone
yeah.
put
They were
like
you
put
should-
YVD
you should
in,
put YVD
and then
in.
someone else said, we're like, could we? Should we? And we're all like, you know what? Let's see where this goes.
So you
And
are
look where it
listening
went.
to your audience. Like,
Yeah.
we do listen, and we do take
Rarely.
on board like what people.
Rarely.
Ready.
We do take on board what
There's
people
a
say.
reason
for sure.
why not
Yeah.
often.
Like if the audience really had their way, they would be like, there would be no King Rocker because everyone hates him. Do you know what I mean? So like, we try and make it work for
Yeah,
as
there's-
much as possible.
It'd be a very different show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we put on a show that we think
Yeah.
is the best thing for you guys to view, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And
Sometimes you can't have your own way.
but it's all good.
Imagine how boring wrestling in general. If you like, as a child, if I was watching it, it's like The Rock wins every
He
time.
did. No, he didn't. He didn't.
But you get looking back as a sort of adult. That's pretty much what they had Roman Reigns doing. Whereas
Yeah.
he's pushed like
John Cena.
he only fell upwards, and like as a child you like that because you're like, yeah, you're winning. But when you look at it as an adult, you're like, in terms of storytelling, well, this is just there's no adversity, there's no challenge, there's no
Yeah, exactly.
substance.
That's what we're going for. Storytelling.
We are indeed. I think that's pretty much wrapping it up there, gents.
Yeah.
In terms of content, in terms of the Falling Games, I think it's been a nice little trip down memory lane
Yeah.
to kind of talk about, to talk and reflect on the journey that we've been on. And obviously, we're going to continue going for as long as we possibly can. AEW is the bulk of our content now, so it is primarily more of a
So
wrestling based
get used to it.
organization. But we do variety of streams whenever we can, really. We have ideas for more growth in terms of the channel and things that we want to do in terms of developing things, but it will be the primary base of what we do. And again, thank you so much to anyone who watches and enjoys the product that we're making. It genuinely means, for me anyway, it means the world that people are responding to what we're doing and enjoying the content that we're creating, because it's not easy when you've got all these ideas in your head and you're trying to show someone what you're trying to portray and
it
how you
doesn't-
want to portray it.
Especially when it's wrestling related.
Yeah, especially when it's wrestling.
You've got a
related.
vision in your head of
stigmatized.
how you want something to look. And
Yeah.
it's like any sort of thing. It's like I can imagine like a masterpiece of a drawing, but you put a pencil in my hand and it's like, nah, this ain't translating. It's trying to get that
Yeah.
across.
Yeah,
How
I think
we-
we're doing it well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're doing it well.
It's easier when the game does it and you're not having to code the game or anything like that.
We try our best. But Az, anything to say before we wrap it up, my friend?
Asriel's number one.
Of course.
Yeah, and there we go.
You have to get in some, don't you? You have to go do the self plug every now and then. No,
Yeah,
no.
we don't listen.
There's nothing
We don't
much
listen to the
say.
chat always. We don't even listen to ourselves most of the time.
Just thank you to everyone who has watched.
Yes.
If you haven't watched, please watch us. Please,
Watch us.
Yeah.
please watch us.
Watch us.
We can't grow without you guys.
Yeah.
Love us.
Smears, any thoughts, any things to
Yeah,
say?
it's been good to be part of all this. Long may it continue.
Oh, what a way to end it.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure,
So
Smith.
it's
It's a
an
pleasure.
absolute pleasure. But yes, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, we've been the Falling Games here. You can follow us on Spotify and iTunes in terms of all your podcast needs. We will do our best to make sure that we do more podcasts in the
Yeah.
future and try and do this more often because it's just nice. It's nice to
It's
just sit
nice,
down
it's
and
nice to
chill.
chat, yeah.
It's nice to chill. We
Nice
should
to
do we should film ourselves having breakfast one day, I reckon.
Yeah.
The Falling Game
Oh,
breakfast.
we just meant
Just
me and
chatting.
my cereal.
No, not like that.
pants.
Not like a weird.
I can do that now if you want.
No, you're weird breakfast.
We're good. Yeah, not the weird. Yeah, not Wang
Cereal.
Riel's breakfast.
I forgot about Wangria.
Fucking man.
Never
bro.
forget.
Change it. Go. End the podcast now, guys.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have listened and enjoy what you have heard, leave us a 5-star review. It helps us out massively. Share it with your mum, your dad, and your granddad, and also
Oh, he's gone
your
off
auntie
granddad.
too.
He's gone off granddad. He
He's
didn't.
gone off
He
granddad.
didn't make a little clicky
I'm
noise.
not
this
making the
time.
comments this time.
If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like this video and to subscribe if you haven't already. It does help us out in terms of growth and development. You can catch us on live streams on twitch.tv/Falling Games for all of our streaming goodness, and where you can catch AAW live on Sundays at 7:30 p.m. and then variety streams on Wednesdays as well. Thank you one and all for watching. I've been Vice Wolfman,
I've been Agent Smith.
I've been Asriel.
and we will see you very soon.